Both sides would bring reinforcements. We would sometimes, and they would, and it would kept building up for 4 months. And there were at one time we had more men on the island than the Japs, but the Japs was really bringing in quite a few reinforcements, and they made these attacks through the jungles. In fact, 1/3 of their outfit got lost in the jungle, and they wasn't able to pull their heavier artillery pieces, and they got fouled up like that. In fact, yeah, well, they were lost in the jungle. And the Japs, they say they were supposed to be perfect jungle fighters, and they weren't. The Japs' rifles and machine guns wasn't as good as ours. We had better guns. But at first, they figured the Japs were Superman, and they wasn't. They're just like any other human being. But they thought them being so brave to give up their lives and all that they would win any battle. And they found out different. The way the war first started, the first 6 months, the Japs was always winning, see? And that Guadalcanal campaign was the first time that they got licked on the ground. Yeah, they were rather surprised that they couldn't run over us like the propaganda put out, that they could easily win that airfield back. But they lost a lot of men trying to take it over.
What the forward units found as they probed west was a nearly completed airstrip, with machine shops, administration building, and flight tower almost ready for occupancy. Down by the shoreline, they captured storage sheds and docks piled high with equipment and materials. Most importantly, they found rice by the ton, which would later prove to be extremely valuable. The Marines had accomplished their first major objective. The next morning, as promised, the invasion fleet did pull off, taking with them a substantial portion of the Marines' heavy equipment and artillery. Over the next 2 weeks, the Marines worked quickly to secure the defensive perimeter of the airfield and to complete the airstrip. On August 20th, the first flights of American fighters and dive bombers landed at the newly named Henderson Field. The Marines had met their second objective, to turn the Japanese airfield into an American airbase, from which they could strike against the Japanese land and naval forces. Now they had to hold it against a foe determined to recapture the airfield and expel the Americans. For the next 4 months, the Marine did hold the airfield against repeated massive attacks from land, sea, and air. Major sea battles were fought offshore to determine who would get reinforcements of troops and supplies. The campaign for Guadalcanal had cost the Japanese over 50,000 soldiers, sailors, and airmen. American dead numbered less than 5,000.
It was a sort of a nip and tuck. There was times it looked like they were really going to take over the island, and they didn't. And it was a tough battle. That's what it was. And 4 months is a long time for the guys to go through that. After we was fighting 4 months, the Army came in, and then even the 2nd Marine Division came in with the Army also, and they built up enough armed forces where the Japs really didn't have a chance. It was 6 months from the time we landed that the Japs gave up. In other words, we landed August 7th in 42, and the Japs pulled out of there in February 6th, 43. So they finally figured they couldn't take the island over, and they said, That is where the fork in the road would tell them, which is in the news, that who was going to win this war. The ones that stayed, or took the right fork, would be the one that wins, and that's what happened. And we won that war. And there's things that happened that I couldn't hardly believe. But somehow we made it through. But it took a lot of lives. Took a lot.
Just wondering how you were able to survive while, I know you told me once, but while they were shelling the island and you were on the island.
Only thing is, if you dug in, you dug in. If you dug in, just even below the surface of the dirt, you got it made. But I can tell you this: the army was coming in after about 3 months or so, and they would have these pile of food, and they'd have MPs guarding them, and Army MPs, and we was only 2 meals a day rations, not hardly eating any, much good food and all this other stuff, and the Army MP would look at us and say, "You just lay a finger on anything there, I'll break your arm off." And but the Army MP's never been in combat before, So all of a sudden, this condition red. The Jap planes are coming in, and the Army MPs, they're getting pale in the face and all that, first time in combat, and they're there on the beach, and pretty soon they're running inland. That's where the foxholes was, inland, and the Marines know, they know for the months of bombing, the Japs would not drop one bomb on land as long as they could drop it on our ships. They'll drop it on the ships first, and so they never dropped any bombs on land. So here, the MPs are running inland to get on the foxholes, and the Marines are going out to the beach. I remember getting this case of peaches. Oh boy, a case of peaches, and taking it back to our place, and the MP is, "Hey, you guys, knock it off, put that back." But hey, we haven't. Well, it's not really stealing; it's government property. But I mean, they felt pretty bad that they couldn't do anything about it.